And joining us today is a former USC and Pittsburgh quarterback. You can find him on X, Instagram, and live on TikTok every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Seriously, guys, the content that he pumps out on the socials, especially during the season, is just remarkable. The other day, he gave us a taste of the latest video out on YouTube where he dives into one question for every single Power Four quarterback. It was, stuff for the sickos out there. He's a current lead college football analyst at ESPN for the ACC network. Max Brown, welcome into the show.
What's up, fellas? I appreciate you watching that video. That was a beast to make, all 35 minutes of content. But if you're a quarterback hardo and a college football hardo, I'll put my rep on the line that you'll like that video.
Speaking of Miami, let's jump right into them. They're like right now the second odds-on favorite behind Clemson to win the ACC at plus 400. I mean, Miami year after year, their issue is never talent. They've always got really good talent. Now, the issue is whether they live up to that talent or not. That's been the case over the years. Obviously, last year was the Cam Ward show and that Shannon Dawson offense. I mean, good Lord, it's like a video game watching them play on offense. They were incredible. But obviously, Cam Ward's gone. All those receivers are gone. In steps Carson Beck. And a very polarizing quarterback because it really just depends. You could talk to 25 people and you may find half that say he's really good and the other half say he's trash. So it just depends on what side of the fence you fall on. I'm interested to get your take on what your thoughts are on Carson Beck in Miami at this offense this year. But Mario's been recruiting at elite level. I'm just curious with the run game that they're going to have back with Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle, one of the best offensive lines in the country, led by Francis Mauigoa. Obviously, last year, that defense, man, was absolute booty, and that might be putting that might not be harsh enough for how bad that defense was last year. And I love the hire of Corey Heatherman, man. Like we were talking about Minnesota last year defensively throughout the year during weekly episodes of ours. And how good that defense was, and the fact that they went out and got him from Minnesota, I thought was an incredible hire. I love their defensive line. I think they're going to be really good on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's a great place to start to be really strong on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They went heavy in the transfer portal at the defensive back position, so the jury's out on that. They've got a lot of experience at the P4 level of the defensive backs that they brought in, but you know how that works with the transfer portal. You either hit or you don't. Just ask Florida State. So I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this Miami team. Are they a real threat to win the ACC? Are they a threat to make the college football playoff and maybe even win a couple of games in the college football playoff? And then while I'm feeling good, just for the third part question, Max, what's your thoughts on Carson Beck?
Yeah, a little trifecta there.
Yeah.
From a gambling perspective, I would stay as far away from Miami as possible because I don't know. I mean, you laid it out right there. I think it could be as good as, hey, you're winning a couple rounds in the CFP, and it could be as bad as missing a bowl game. Seriously. I mean, I don't think that's crazy talk because my biggest take here that I don't think is getting enough cred, and I haven't really followed the beat with their fall camp progression and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But as a guy who was a right-handed quarterback that tore my right labrum and was told that I'd be good 12 months, 15 months later, a lot easier said than done, not only from like a literal physical health of your shoulder, but the mentality that comes along with that.
Yeah.
Like I have very big concerns about where an elbow injury for Carson Beck that sidelined him last year after a year in which he did not live up to expectations. And I'm sure there is some doubt creeping in his mind. Like, where is he at? Not only physically, but then even if he is good physically, where's he at mentally? And then, oh, by the way, the pressure of having to replace everything that Cam Ward was last year. And people know how big of it, like how significant of an impact Cam Ward had. But I think sometimes we forget about how big those shoes are that it's going to fill. It's not just hey, we reload in the transfer portal and Miami's just going to be good. Like Cam Ward was very much driving the ship there. Unlike to the earlier point about Cade Klubnik, like Cade Klubnik's a very good quarterback, but he had some pieces around him and it was very much scheme. For Cam Ward, it was backyard football. Go win us the game. Go put up 45 points and let's do this thing. So I think those are big shoes to fill. So I have concerns there. There's no secret that Miami's got talent. They certainly should and could contend for an ACC title, but I just think the volatility of their ceiling and floor, you can make the arguments as big as really anybody in the country.
Yeah, Max, Tyler put out a tweet on our page. Like every year, there's always a team that's in the AP poll originally in the top 10 that ends up unranked. Well, Tyler said, who's the team in the top 10 this year that you think ends up being unranked? It was pretty overwhelming. The amount of people that commented on it said Miami.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't really know either way on that. I lean a little bit that I think that the defense being better is going to make it to where the offense necessarily doesn't have to go out and score in the 50s to try to win every game. Maybe they'll play a little bit more complimentary football. But this is why we have you on, Max. Your comments there about Beck, the fact that you actually you strapped up the chin strap, got behind center at the power level of football. That was interesting, man. I actually have to admit, that was very interesting what you had to talk about there as far as mentally where Beck is going to be at after that major injury that he had to his elbow.
Totally. And to stay on that quarterback point too, like I think it's easy from a national perspective to be like, oh, the ACC sucks and Clemson's just going to roll through. The ACC is not as good as the SEC and the Big Ten. We all know that. But I do think over the past few years, this is as good of a middle group in the ACC as I think we've seen in the past couple of years. Like there's a lot of these schools that feel good about their quarterback spot. And so that's a two-edged sword. I mean, obviously, if Miami has quarterback issues, and that sticks out. But the flip side is if Miami has issues in the secondary, there's some capable quarterbacks that can get out you. I mean, even guys like I know Kyron Drones didn't light the world on fire, but I think Virginia Tech feels good about what his upside can be. I think Florida State feels optimistic about what Castellanos can be. I think Louisville loves what they have with Miller Moss right now. I think Pitt really likes where they're at with Eli Holstein. This is the best Pitt quarterback situation they've had since Kenny Pickett. And you just go down I think NC State's really excited about the upside of what CJ Bailey could be in year 2 as the starter. And Georgia Tech, they're Haynes King, like proven commodity in football. Like that's half the conference right there. Syracuse excited about the Notre Dame transfer. It just feels like this could be a year where, you have some quality offenses and quality teams. Are those teams going to make the CFP and make a national title run? No, of course not. But I think they are quality football teams that is a little bit different or a notch better than where the ACC's been the past couple of years.
Yeah, and you've got a really good trigger, man. You know as well as I do, Max. If you show up on a Saturday not ready to play and that other team's quarterback is on, kind of like in baseball, that other team's pitcher happens to be on that day, you could tote an L real quick, no doubt.
Totally.
All right. Awesome, man. Guys, appreciate you guys listening, watching, tuning in. We're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe, like the show, comment, follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok. We love the banter back and forth like you guys are giving to us here. We got, 10 days till season starts. So we're ever so close to college football. For Max Brown and Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.